Welcome back to the program now for our market analysis segment. Toba Kamete joins me now from Nedbank. A very good afternoon to you, Toba. Thank you so much for coming to our studios. I'd like to start here. A heat-and-court battle between U.S. President Donald Trump and Fed Governor Lisa Cook. Amid the turmoil and threats of independence of the Fed, are stocks and bonds reacting to this? Any heightened volatility?
Thank you, Natsila. Good afternoon to you. So yes, definitely. There is jitters in the market in the wake of what happened yesterday, where President Trump fired Governor Cook. But what is more on market participants is on the outcome of the court case, because we have heard from lawyers of Governor Cook that they will be taking this into the justice system to sort of get an outcome there. So markets are sort of waiting to see what the courts are going to say, because that will influence the independence of the central bank or the Fed from the presidency. So right now, yes, that has caused a bit of friction in the market. It has, influenced volatility, but the full extent of it is going to come out of the outcome of the court case, because that will determine the influence that the White House has on the Fed. Okay.
The U.S. slapped India with 50% U.S. tariffs that are set to take effect today, affecting at least 55% of exports, India's exports to the U.S. And India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is actually just encouraging self-reliance. What's the impact of this move? How exactly in Asia, how are markets playing out right now?
Yeah, so, so the tariff came into effect today, Wednesday. There is quite a lot of volatility that is bringing, and also just pressure on India as well as an upcoming economy. They can't really choose between the US and Russia at this point, based on the reliance that they have built on procuring oil from Russia, because that is where it started, or that is where these tariffs you can say are coming from, that India is importing Russia oil products, growing up to about 41% from 2% that they were getting pre the war. So the U.S. has then retaliated against that. But yeah, it's we're yet to see. It is going to affect Indian exports. But the U.S. has been strategic to sort of not include the ones that they are interested in. But yeah.
So much global uncertainty here, but let's get into the numbers. Our equities this afternoon, what's driving equities? What's happening on the markets today?
All right, so it's when we look at our equities, the S&P 500 is up 0.41%. In that index, the market is looking towards NVIDIA's earnings that are going to be reported later today, to sort of get an idea of how AI stocks are going to trade post those earnings. The market is pricing in a 260-odd billion movement in the value of NVIDIA from that earnings that are going to be reported. The FTSE is also trading marginally flat, 0.05%. At 9.2 pounds, and the JSE all shares slightly down at 0.53%.
Right. The JSE, what's with the decline there?
So it could be more of on the rand weakness that we are also seeing, because if the dollar is a bit stronger, some of the exports that are coming out of, some of the imports that are coming into South Africa are then becoming more expensive.
Right.
So it's more along those lines.
Okay, let's get into our commodities. What's shaping gold and other commodities this afternoon?
All right, so gold is down from the levels that we saw yesterday, but I would say it's more of a price correction with gold after the firing of Governor Cook yesterday, we saw the dollar dropping. So that then meant buyers were sort of flocking into gold. But we are seeing that subsiding today. But none other than that, it's still trading at high levels. But we are going to see more movement when we get outcome of the court case against this, which is then likely going to move the needle on that. Oil is down as well significantly. It's two things that I would point out. It is the US-India sanctions that are weighing on the market, as well as just uncertainty in the war, geopolitical tensions.
In a minute, can you give us what's shaping currencies this afternoon? How is the rand or the Langini playing out against some of the world's strongest currencies?
Yeah, so in the absence of economic data, in South Africa today, the rand is more influenced by global sentiments. We can see that it's significantly down against major currencies. Today, it's red, 17.7 against the USD. So it's more on just the price correction, the dollar gaining more strength, and just more positive market influence on the US side.
Right. Chova, thank you very much for your insights. That was Treasury